we're on, the fact that we are, many of us are settlers on this land, not just today, not just throughout the week of Pride, but throughout the year and in all the work that we do. So Pride on Campus is a coalition of concerned individuals and organizations from the Memorial community. Our aim is to provide students, faculty, staff, and community members with the opportunity to discuss LGBTQ issues, raise awareness, and build a community that provides a safer space for LGBTQ individuals, their families, and their allies. Here at Memorial, we have a lot to be proud of. I'm proud of students, faculty, and staff who stand up against transphobia and homophobia in their daily lives. I'm proud of the many initiatives of our students' unions and LGBT MUN to fight transphobia and homophobia. I'm proud of the anti-discrimination work of our coalition partners in labor and other community organizations. I am proud of the amazing differences between us all and how, despite these differences, and more importantly, because of these differences, we come together at events like this to celebrate our diversity and support each other in solidarity. And although we certainly have a lot to celebrate, we have so much further to go. A key theme of our events this week is that we must remain political and continue fighting for equity for all and continue challenging discrimination in all of its forms. This week, let's work to harness this pride and build upon the work of those before us to challenge transphobia and homophobia on our campuses and in our classrooms all year long. Without further ado, I'm extremely excited to call upon our first guest speaker to bring greetings on behalf of Memorial University. I'm pleased to introduce the Associate Vice President Academic, Dr. Doreen Neville.
All right.
Thanks, can you hear me? Okay, thanks Travis and thanks Jude. That's the second smudging ceremony I've been to. First one, it was individual smudging, and it's a really spiritual way to start a proceeding, so thank you for that. Good afternoon, everyone. Members of MUNSU, the Graduate Student Union, the Canadian Federation of Students, Memorial University Faculty Association, faculty, staff, and students. On behalf of the entire Memorial community, welcome. Thank you for joining us today, especially those of you who are just as cold as I am now, standing there and shivering. As a community, MUN embraces the diversity and supports the inclusion of all people, including students, faculty, and staff who are members of the LGBTQ community. I'm really pleased to be here with you today. As it's been mentioned, it's the 5th annual Pride Campus on Week. Pride on Campus Week. You can tell I don't read my notes very often. This week celebrates diversity and encourages inclusion. It's also an opportunity to reiterate our commitment to the safety, comfort, well-being, and happiness of every individual on campus. This year, MUN made a couple of important steps forward. They're small steps, but they are important in terms of making it a more inclusive and inviting environment for everyone. In March of 2015, Burton's Pond Apartments at Memorial became gender neutral, and now we are in the process of establishing new gender-neutral washrooms in the University Centre.
Right.
These two small initiatives represent two steps in the right direction. We know that much more needs to be done, and we are committed to continuing moving forward. As a graduate of Memorial University myself and a member of the senior administrative team, I'm proud that our community is dedicated to providing an equal opportunity to everyone. It's the continuing responsibility, though, of everybody here and everybody in the community to make sure that our community is a place of mutual regard and mutual respect. During Pride on Campus Week, a variety of other events will take place to celebrate diversity at our university. I encourage everyone to get involved and take part in as many events as you can. Thank you for inviting me to participate today, and have a great Pride Week, and I hope the weather improves a bit for some of the events. Thanks again.
Next, I'm going to invite Assam Modine up to speak on behalf of the Graduate Students Union. He's the Executive Director of External Affairs.
Right.
Good afternoon, guys. My name is Hassan Mohideen, and I'm the Executive Director of External Affairs for the Graduate Student Union. The Graduate Student Union, also known as GSU, represents more than 3,500 graduate students at Memorial University. And GSU is proud to be here supporting and participating in Pride on Campus because we recognize how important it is for our members and for our entire university community. As graduate students, we have one of the most diverse communities here in the province. Our members come from every corner of the world and represent an enormous range of experiences, backgrounds, and identities. This diversity means that the most important elements for us as student union and for us as a university are the principles of respect and inclusiveness. It is events like this flag raising here today and the Pride Week more generally which reflect and reinforce our collective commitment towards an inclusive and respectful campus and an inclusive and respectful community. During Pride Week, we celebrate the tremendous gains that we have made as a society in pushing back the ignorance and intolerance and in rising above our own historical stereotypes and bigotries. We celebrate the gains we have made in recognizing the laws, policies, and values that needed to change in our society, and we celebrate the more enlightened and inclusive community that has resulted. But at the same time, we also recognize that there's a lot of work to be done. As graduate students, many of us can contribute to this work in our research and practice. Many of our members engage in research from sociology to psychology to medical science, which helps us to understand our own bigotries and stereotypes, the shortcomings of our histories, and which helps our positive ideas for social change in the future. In our teaching, we also dedicate ourselves the task not merely of educating our students to graduate, but of teaching and mentoring them in such a way as to instill in them the values necessary to build a just, equal, inclusive, and respectful society.
Yeah!
We must continue to open to learning ourselves and also be conscious that we are the role models for our students in this process. But we are also members of this community who live our identities day to day. It is for that reason that we engage in political activism, policy lobbying, and community reach to help spread the values of respect and inclusion and to help improve and enhance the social and legislative gains we have already made. This week is about celebration, reflection, and commitment for change. The GUC is proud to be part of this week and is proud of all the great work the Pride on Campus Committee has done in organizing the week's celebration and events. We are proud to be hosting the Solidarity Brunch with us tomorrow at noon. I hope you will all come for that. And also the Pride Trivia on Thursday evening after the Pride Week panel discussion. But most of all, we are proud to be part of the campus community that is inclusive, respects diversity, and is committed to positive change in society. Let's keep that important work going. Thank you, and have a good Pride Week.
Thank you so much, Hassan. Next, I'm going to invite Sherry McConnell to come up, Dr. Sherry McConnell to come up and speak on behalf of the MUN Faculty Association.
Yay!
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for inviting me to speak today. I feel greatly honored to be a part of such a fabulous community, both the community on campus and in St. John's and around Newfoundland and Labrador. As I come from away, I have been welcomed with open arms and have been blessed in how I am treated and respected as an out lesbian woman and advocate. That's not true for everyone, and I think we need to continue to work towards having every person in Newfoundland and Labrador feel accepted and loved and valued for who they are and how they are in the world. And Memorial has been a very good employer for me. I have gotten 2 degrees at this university, and throughout that process have been very well respected and treated well, but I hear from some other students that that's not their experience. And I think part of that is that I am blessed to be a social worker, and I work in a school where it would be an atrocity not to be treated with that respect. Other schools may not be as evolved as social work, perhaps, in their treatment of people of diverse backgrounds, diverse sexualities, and diverse gender. We've made big changes in this university, but in compared to what the changes we need to make, they're small changes. And sometimes they're changes that take a lot of work. We fought to have a gender-inclusive washroom at the School of Social Work. And it was an interesting process. because it was a multi-stall washroom, and that was hard for people to accept. So we've moved into 2 temporary spaces where there are single stall washrooms. Instead of asking for permission, we just put signs up that say washroom. It's not that hard. I know that gender politics are complicated, and that sometimes women don't feel safe in multi-stall washrooms where there are men coming in, and men don't feel safe. But for every single stall washroom on this campus, all it takes is a sign that says washroom. For every student who doesn't feel included, all it takes is for each one of us to work at using the pronouns that that student requires that we use. And I know as a grammar queen, it's sort of hard saying they when you're talking about one person. I know that. But you know what? It's about human dignity. It is truly that simple. Respecting how people identify, whether as male, whether as female, whether they identify off that gender binary, whether they want to blow up that gender binary. It's respecting how people identify, using the pronouns, knowing that sometimes we forget or that we slip into old patterns, but doing the best we can. It's about treating people with respect. And my hope is that each one of us here from the university today goes back to our department and spreads the word that we need to move into the 21st century around gender and sexual identity. And it truly is as simple as being respectful, listening to people, and honoring what they need to thrive in this amazing learning environment. Thank you so much for welcoming me here today, and happy Pride to all.
Right.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Next, I'm going to invite up the MUN's Director of Campaigns, Brittany Burns.
I'm a little shorter than everyone else. Hey everyone, my name is Brittany Burns. As Travis said, I'm the Director of Campaigns with the MUN Students Union, and I'm also the Chair of the Pride on Campus Planning Committee this year. As many of you know, we've been meeting for the past couple of weeks to plan out events for this year's Pride on Campus, which is Memorial University's contribution to St. John's Pride Week. Pride on Campus is about honoring and celebrating our responsibility and role as a university, as students, faculty, and staff, to ensure not only an inclusive campus community, but also to acknowledge our role in leading the charge for progressive change in society. Change that tackles the issues which remain as barriers to members of our university, as well as our broader community. This is the third Pride flag raising, that I've been to today, but I've heard that Eastern Health actually had their first Pride flag raising, which is really great to hear. And it's an impressive reminder of how far our city and our province has come in quite a short time. This year, MUN, we're also flying the Trans Pride flag in honor and celebration of our trans community. This year marks the first formally organized Trans March, which is happening this Saturday. We're meeting at 1:30 at Harborside Park. Just to plug that. And it was really exciting to see that decision, the decision for that event to happen here on campus. It was in student space that the trans members of the trans community came together to discuss and vote on having a trans march. And the fact that that took place on campus symbolizes very powerfully the sort of important role which Memorial University should take in our broader society. It also reminds us that although we're here to celebrate this week, there are many communities and identities within our community which remain underrepresented, marginalized, and all too often forgotten. At a time like this, when we come together to celebrate, it's more important than ever that we ask ourselves who's not here, who we've forgotten, who's not being included in our spaces, in our decision making, and in our thoughts. Pride Week is about celebrating, but it's also about having the humility and the courage to acknowledge our shortcomings, our exclusions, and our ignorance, and to commit ourselves to the project of listening, learning, and reaching out to those who have been ignored and excluded. An unofficial slogan that's emerged during Pride on Campus organizing this year is the notion of keeping Pride political. It serves as a reminder that political change doesn't just happen. Political change is the result of action, which requires the courage and determination to live our lives politically. The courage to find ways to enact our politics in day-to-day actions and interactions with each other and with our community. Not just 1 week of the year, but every day of the year. It's not always an easy task, but it's that striving and the determination and that courage to try, which are the things that make us feel truly proud for who we are and for what we accomplish as a society. I'm proud to be here today, and I'm looking forward to what Pride Week has to offer. But I hope that the strength and the energy and the courage of Pride Week doesn't just ebb and flow with the rising and lowering of our flags this week, but that it stays with us and bolsters our courage and our thoughts and our actions throughout the year to come. So, with that being said, let's raise these flags with pride and determination, and let's have the best Pride Week ever. Thank you.
Right. Go for it, go for it. It's all good. There you see all the photographers over there. Hi, I'm Jennifer, recording this. Hope you're enjoying the show. I like the outfit on the security guard there. Patrol officer, there it is. Definitely a snazzy looking outfit. Just pan around, we got 100 people here probably today. I can't see that. Do the selfie thing. Biggest turnout I've ever seen here at a MUN flag raising. Oh, they're getting ready to raise the flags, so we better get the camera back on it. Here we go. Woo! Way up there. There we are. Kind of jammed together. That's kind of neat. Gay and trans all together, getting along. That's the goal, anyway.
All right. Is this on? Okay, thank you. All right. Thanks everyone for coming out. Don't forget to check out the rest of our other great events this week. I'm going to plug a few of them right now. So tomorrow from 12 to 2 at Bitters Restaurant in Field Hall, the GSU is hosting our Solidarity Brunch, as Hassan mentioned. And we're going to have a special guest speaker from Planned Parenthood. In the evening of Tuesday evening, we're going to have a special film screening with Cinema Politica, and we're going to be meeting in the landing at 5:30, and it's the film Transgender Parents. On Wednesday, LGBT MUN is hosting a clothing swap on the 3rd floor of the university from 11 to 3, and in the evening we have open mic. And we're going to have a guest host, Irma Gerd. Excuse me. On Thursday, we have a panel on keeping Pride political, which should be very interesting. We're going to be having special guests Dr. Hava Finkler, who will be flying from Grenfell to speak to us. We're also going to have Daisy Jeffries on that panel, Alex Knoll and Sawyer Macking, to talk about how we keep the political agenda active and vibrant as we celebrate the achievements through Pride. And then Friday we have Pride Prep from 1 to 4, and then at 1:30 on Saturday we're going to be meeting at Harborside Park to have the Trans March. And most importantly, well, I wouldn't say most importantly, but today we're going to have some tea and coffee in the lobby of the Arts and Administration building, and then at 3:30 we're going to be having a barbecue in the Breezeway Bar. Thank you.
All right. XFM is here. Seamus O'Regan there, our political candidate. Of course, Jennifer McCreath, the first ever out trans person to run in a federal election in Canada. I'm going to do that this year for Strength and Democracy. Hi. I'm still filming. Do you want to say hi? No.
Oh, okay. I want the picture shot.
Picture shot.
I got a picture now. Hold your fist. Yeah.
Grrr. Do a grrr. Grrr.
Nice. Good job.
I didn't get my hand.
We're out of control.
Sherry, just stand for 1 second. I'm going to come around and get it closer up.
Anyway, that concludes the video. If you're still watching, thank you.